and this is the country that's supposed to co-host the next World Cup after Qatar in 2026. Hello everyone, Akip here, back to another video. In today's video, we're going to talk about something that's happened recently, just now. As you already saw from the title of this video and the thumbnail, we're going to talk about the events that happened in a soccer game last night because of a huge stadium brawl between two fans, which are the fans of Atlas and the fans of Querétaro. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing the name of the teams wrong, but honestly, I couldn't give two craps about it due to the horrific events that unfolded in that stadium. So you may be wondering what happened during this game. So the home team Querétaro was playing at home in their home stadium, hosting Atlas, the away team. And into that game, around the first half, the away team Atlas were 1-0 up against Querétaro due to a goal from the striker Julio Fruch, who scored pretty much indirectly from a corner kick. Once the ball deflected off a player and went to him and managed to put the ball behind the net. From that moment to halftime, the game was 1-0 to Atlas. Now bear with me right here. I'm gonna soon go into detail on the horrific events that happened during this game around the 60th minute. Now mind you, I didn't watch this game. I don't really follow Mexican soccer like that, especially these two teams. Now I'm gonna show you some photos and videos that happened during this game, and later on I'm going to describe a couple of terrible things that were happening in the stadium. But until I mention that up to that point in the video, I'm going to outline pretty much what happened in the stadium, what took place around the 60th minute. So first things first, around the 60th minute, the team Querétaro were still losing the match 1-0 against Atlas. In the second half of the game, we see a barrage of Querétaro fans, most likely rallied up by the ultras of Querétaro, who are starting a huge ruckus in the stadium. And due to that, there were Querétaro fans who squared up against the Atlas fans, squaring up to pick up a fight. And in another instance, we see here the two sides of the fans confronting each other in this fence gate. And then all of a sudden things escalate when the Querétaro fans barges in through the gate. But now listen closely to what I'm going to tell you right now. In that same video, in a different angle, we see there's a person right here wearing all black with a cap coming towards through that gate from the Atlas side. From the way he was dressed up, it looked like he was actually a security guard or some sort of security in the stadium. And for some stupid reason, this individual here opens up the gate that let the flood of the Querétaro fans barge in through the other side of the stadium, which led to this huge ass brawl that occurred. So much so that the fans invaded the pitch, and we see both sides of the fans getting at each other, and let me tell you, it was horrific. If you haven't seen those videos on Twitter, then you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, then don't check it out, please. I'm doing you a huge favor for not doing so. So much so, if I show you the videos on Twitter, then this video will not be able to be uploaded. It will get taken down straight away. So the best way to describe it was as if the Mexican cartels entered the stadium and started beating up the poor innocent fans that were there just to watch a game. It got to the point where we see in this photo here of the whole family holding each other's hands. And we see this one boy in particular to the left who's running shirtless, just so these insane fans won't likely target this kid for wearing the wrong jersey, which I cannot comprehend in words why anyone would be targeting these kids. For what reason? There's no excuse why would anyone would target these kids or anyone in the stadium that day. These insane ultra fans who proclaim themselves as quote-unquote passionate fans, which by the way, this isn't passion, this is hatred. How low will you go on targeting kids, ganging up on a couple vulnerable fans, beat them to a pulp until they bleed? So much so that they're pretty much unconscious and brain dead by the amount of hits they've taken, as well as chairs and poles the ultras use to target the fans. Not only that, but there are some videos there where they'll take the unconscious person who's already been beaten up, drag his body behind the stands just to beat them up a bit more with kicks, chairs, belts, you name it, they hit them with everything. And even after that, these crazy hooligans even go as far as stripping down these unconscious fans from all their clothes and belongings and left them there to die, to rot, literally lie down butt naked in the stadiums with pools of blood drenched the stadium grounds. Even after all that, what I found the most despicable about this are the insane lunatics here celebrating the stadium brawl as if they won the league. Look at them, they have no shame, no guilt, no remorse. When there was a dad shielding his son away from the Querétaro fans, but yeah, you can see from these hooligans, they're very proud of what they did, which is fully unacceptable. The events that occurred last night, it was so bad that the first report of the casualties from this incident originally reported to have 22 people dead, but that has since changed into 22 people injured. Around 9 were sent to the hospital, 2 in critical condition, and no reports of deceased people, which is very fortunate and thank God for that. That said, the innocent fans who were traumatized from that day, as well as the ones who got injured, have my support and condolences to that horrific event, and I hope they will never go through that again. And so after the horrific game, the Mexican League has suspended the games for Sunday, and the league will be postponed until further notice. This tragedy brought many people from Twitter to talk about this news. Many of them listed out things about the club, the lack of police intervention, as well as many people talking about if Mexico should host the World Cup in 2026 and should be banned from Qatar. Now here's my take on this. Yes, I believe that Mexico should not be co-host for the 2026 World Cup. As for Mexico not going to Qatar, well, I could see the statement going in different ways, like taking points away from Mexico, Mexico getting fined by the FIFA Federation, having the last remaining qualifiers of Mexico being played in closed doors. But one thing for sure is, the Mexican Federation has already been in trouble by FIFA many times in past years because of their fans shouting the puto scream every now and then in stadiums. And with this incident that has happened, I won't be surprised if FIFA decides to ban Mexican football from qualifying to Qatar and being stripped of their co-hosting World Cup in 2026, which it's a big shame because the country of Mexico is very passionate for its love of soccer. But sadly, and I have to say this, but because of these uneducated, barbaric fans, ruined the image of the Mexican fans who outright love their national team and their clubs. And it's not like it's a small batch of apples that make up this side of the despicable fans. And sadly, it's not a small minority, but a large majority of these so-called passionate fans, which the Mexican Federation must punish these ultras to the highest degree of banning them from ever be in a Mexican stadium, because they are absolutely should not be ever welcome to support their club and national team. And so that's really all I had to say. I hope the victims involved have a speedy recovery, and I hope justice to be served to those foolish ultras and fans who were committed to carry out these terrible acts of violence, to the innocent fans that wanted nothing part of it, who only showed up to the stadium to support their club with their hearts and not their fists. With all that wrapped up, see you next time in the next video. Hey, everyone, A-Kip is leaving the building.